Right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I give double honor to the apostles of great mercy not do rule well. Salutations to the men of the Hope Land Saints elect. This Marcus are from the Trinidad camp. Just want to do a little edification for the elect's sake. And the name of this lesson will be the purpose of the red horse. Alright. A while back I did a lesson on the white horse, and the white horse in Revelation 6 being Yahushai. Now we're going to go into the red horse, and this red horse will be who? That Esau, according to the scriptures. Alright, so I get straight into it. This is Revelation chapter 6 verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Alright, so just gonna jump around a bit. This is Revelation chapter 25 verse 25. It says, and the first, this Esau and Jacob, this is Genesis chapter 25 verse 25. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they call his name Esau. Alright, so this red horse in Revelation chapter 6 verse 4 represents Esau, the so-called white man, because he's not white, he's actually red. Alright, his blood shows through his pigmentless skin. Alright, so this red horse figuratively and spiritually was talking about the so-called white man, Esau, according to the scriptures. And it says, and there was given unto him that sat thereon to take the peace from the earth. And this is what he doing. Alright, he going around destroying places. Alright, taking away the peace of the earth. Alright, he destroyed Japan, with Nagasaki and Fukushima. Alright, he went around conquering different places. Alright, they Solomani. Alright, they went into other places. They went into Iraq. Alright, and all these places to rape and rob these places for their resources. Alright, and it have this saying, there's war in the Middle East because America is in the Middle East. Alright, because that is the power structure of the so-called white man. Alright, that is the whore that sitteth upon the red dragon, which the red dragon also represents Esau's power structure. Alright, so that red horse symbolically represents the so-called white man, and the great sword that was given unto him is the nuclear missiles. As you see, they're showing off their nuclear capabilities right now, because we are on the verge of World War III. As the scriptures speak about, war, 2 wars have gone and a third coming quickly. That great sword is the Lord giving Esau, the so-called white man, the capability and the ability to split atoms, to create enough energy to wreak havoc on the earth, to kill one another, and to take the peace from the earth. This is what the so-called white man did, because the scripture said, what, the hammer of the whole earth? He's the one going around conquering all these places. Alright? But the purpose of the white or the red horse is to bring the judgment of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That is the purpose of the red horse. Alright? To do the Lord's judgment. This is Isaiah chapter 10 verse 5. It says, O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger and the staff in their hand is my indignation. The rod of my anger and the staff in their hand is my indignation. We go back to Revelation chapter 6 verse 4. It says what? It says, and there was given unto him a great sword. So he had a great sword in his hand. So the staff, pursuant to Isaiah chapter 10 verse 5, and the great sword in Revelation chapter 6 verse 4 is the rod of the Lord's anger, which is the nuclear missiles. The Lord raised up Esau, raised up the so-called white man to bring judgment upon the world. That is what the Lord raised up Esau for. Just like we did to Pharaoh, raised him up just for that sole purpose. The Lord raised up Esau just for that sole purpose, and then the Lord gonna destroy him. All right? Because he said he's gonna destroy them that destroy the earth. All right? Esau was made exclusively to cause havoc, and then the Lord, he's expendable. He's expendable. After the Lord used him for his purpose, the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai gonna get rid of him. All right? This is Exodus chapter 9 verse 16. It says what? It says, and in very deed for this cause have I raised thee up. For this very cause the Lord raised Esau up, to bring about the prophecies, to bring about World War III. And the scripture said, and I read it after, it says, for to show in thee my power, that my name may be declared throughout all the earth. And the scripture said in Isaiah chapter 2:17, the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. And it says that in thee. Because guess what? These same nuclear missiles gonna be the cause of Esau's downfall. What the scripture said in Jeremiah 50, he said, I laid a snare for thee and thou wast taken. All right? He laid a snare for thee and thou art taken. So the same means that Esau gonna bring destruction is the same means that gonna come upon and fall upon his own self. And pursuant to Revelation 18, all nations gonna see the destruction that come upon the so-called white man and upon America, because the Lord sent his prophets, his ministers, to prophesy about the times that we are about to enter into. So when nuclear war breaks off and when America be destroyed, it will be remembered that one prophesied about these things in the name Yahweh Shemel Shai. And he says, for this very cause I raised thee up. All right? For this very cause I raised thee up, to shew my power within thee. This is 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10. It says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. It's a great explosion. The nuclear explosion, when the nuclear missile hit, they're gonna have that great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. And the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. All right, because the scripture said the whole earth being overrun with water, this earth now gonna be, cleansed by the means of fire to thermonuclear destruction. All right, and the Lord using Esau to bring that destruction. All right. I just want to watch this video.
After falling for 43 seconds, the time and barometric triggers started the firing mechanism. A uranium bullet fired down a barrel into a uranium target. Together, they started a nuclear chain reaction. Solid matter began to come apart, releasing untold quantities of energy.
Going back to the scripture, Revelation chapter 6 verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take the peace from the earth. He took the peace away from Japan, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. So that was the first him. That was him flexing his muscles, showing the great sword that the Lord gave him. All right, by destroying the nations. All right, the scripture said, therefore the nations are mad. All right, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that caused all the earth to drunken. The hands of the so-called white man is the ones the Lord using to bring about that destruction. All right. Jumping down, this is verse Revelation chapter 6 verse 12. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, just like we read in 1 Peter chapter 3. There was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth, and the moon became as blood. All right, because the smoke and the soot from the nuclear missile gonna go up and block out the atmosphere. All right, and the stars of heaven fell onto the earth, even as the fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their place. Like a scroll. Alright? This to show you everything that was this actual movement. All seen mountains moving. Alright? And the wind. When scriptures was described as melting fervent heat, could only be caused through a nuclear destruction. Even Esau knows this. Esau knows in the scriptures that when the Lord speak about the day of judgment happening by fire, is caused by a nuclear explosion. All right? And that is the reason the Lord raised up the so-called white man to split the atoms, to cause this catastrophe, to judge the world. The scripture said, the Lord gonna judge all the sinners of my people shall be slain by the sword, so that the Lord could bring judgment. This is Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah chapter 9, verse 25. Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh Shemel Shai, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised, Egypt and Judah and Edom and the children of Ammon and Moab, and all that dwell in the utmost corners, that dwell in the wilderness. For all these nations are uncircumcised, and all the house of Israel are uncircumcised in the heart. So the Lord using the nuclear missiles to judge all these nations at once. The other nations, the heathen nations, and 2/3 of our people. Alright? And this is the reason the Lord raised the so-called white man up. This is the purpose of the red horse. The purpose of the red horse is to bring that destruction, to bring the judgment of the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai. Right? Let me just look at another vid. Heavens talking about what? Sky. The sky was being rolled up. This is what John the Revelator was saying. He was seeing the sky rolled up. For those who have eyes to see, will see. This is the purpose right? Because the Lord using Esau, the so-called white man, the red horse, to bring in that destruction. All right? It says, and the heavens departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island will move out of their place. In the scripture say the whole earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, And the mighty men, and every bondman, and every freeman hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, in their bunkers, and said to the mountains, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. Going back to Exodus chapter 9, verse 16. So that his name will be exalted throughout all the earth. So all these nations are going to know that the destruction is happening by the hands of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. The final precept here. This is Isaiah chapter 66, verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire from the nuclear missiles, and by his sword from the lasers from the chariots, alright, so-called UFOs, will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Alright, you're gonna have a lot of dead people because of the nuclear destruction. Alright? These nuclear missiles, 200 million missiles pursuant to Revelation 9, and I believe it's verse 11, they're gonna cause great destruction upon the earth. That is why the Lord gonna send his chariots to deliver the elect. As the scripture said, he shall deliver us in the fires. Alright? He shall deliver us in the fires. Because this destruction gonna be grand. Just like he delivered Noah in ships, he gonna deliver us in ships. Alright? In the chariots. But the purpose of the red horse is to bring about that nuclear destruction. That is the reason the Lord raised Esau up. Alright? That is the reason the Lord let dogs come past us. One, to bring us down and to bring us to shame, but also to bring about that destruction. As he said, for the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. So because Esau bore hatred towards us, and kept his anger and destroyed us, the Lord raised him up to the top and gave him the ability to destroy his own self. Alright? So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. I want to give double honor to the apostles of great mercy not rule well. This is Makazar from Train.com. Say shalom and stay strong.